It's great to have Josh on Zoom. Josh used to be part of our church and he's now in Melbourne. But Josh, can I ask you a question? What was your life like growing up?
Um, I wouldn't say it was amazing, but yeah, life was probably not great. Uh, I didn't live in a two-parent home. Uh, Mum's income was pretty low because she was usually unemployed. Um, I think God was sort of in the background from Mum's side of the family, but it wasn't really anything important or a necessity to life. Um, by the time we stopped moving around, um, I was the new kid in school and smarter and had red hair, so got picked on. Pretty easy target for that. There was issues with my dad still happening, and I guess the icing on the cake was by the time I was sort of going into high school, sort of early teenage years, I was feeling more responsible than I think someone that age should feel about the financial situation at home. Um, so, and I think even Mum's health issues were taking a toll and contributing towards me feeling responsible as well. So, it was just like a lot of stress and difficulty um, growing up. Was really hard.
So God's in the background. How did Jesus come into your life then?
Um, I wouldn't say that Jesus wasn't always involved in my life. It's just I didn't really notice it until a lot later on in life, and now that I reflect back on it as well. Um, but so I think there was some notable appearances, um, specifically when like at school, I had sort of started investigating science a lot and knew enough about it. Like for whatever reason, Jesus gave me that blessing to learn a lot about it. Um, that when the topic of creation came up in science, there'd be discussions going on, and then of course he put a Christian in my class where they'd have this discussion about creation, and I'd have this knowledge that I'd gotten um, about science and be listening to that discussion and be like, well, the science doesn't disprove that God exists. Um, so, I think Jesus has always been doing stuff in my life like that, to just be like, I'm here, you just don't necessarily want to do anything about that yet.
All right. So somewhere along the time you did want to do something about it. What caused you to go from I don't really want to do anything to I do want to do something about it?
um, I think I would say ultimately is because of my desire to get a free Chupa Chup.
It's always food.
That's the like short funny answer. But no, seriously, is because to get that free Chupa Chup, I was presented with the idea of knowing God personally. I'd not heard that was even possible before. So that was like something that I was desiring, because I did have a concept of God, but I didn't really know um, that I could actually have a personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
So like learning that and then learning more about Christianity through Christianity Explained, I think is what really made me make that decision to actually follow Jesus.
And has there been a difference in your life since you've done that?
I think the main difference in my life has probably been uh, how I go about my life goals, or my life goals is probably the main difference. back then I was probably pursuing a career in computers and prestige. So getting lots of money, being really, really smart, and people looking to you and like wanting you to do stuff for them because you could and you had a lot of ability to do that. Whereas now my goal is to get people to have opportunities to see Jesus in their life and to be challenged by seeing Jesus in their life. Making sure heaps of people have those opportunities that I didn't necessarily have. But yeah, just making those obvious for people.
And so one of the ways you've done that is you're actually developing a video game, aren't you? You know, tell us a little bit about that, and that might be the way we might end. What's this all about?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people out there, especially these days, that are spending heaps of time online, the majority of their time. I was one of them. I still spend a lot of time online, a bit less these days, but they're playing games for 4+ hours a day, and there's nobody sort of reaching into that space to offer them Jesus or offer them even the thought of Jesus. So we're developing a game to put something in that space so that they can have that opportunity to think about Jesus. The game that we're developing is to be something that people that play games actually wants to play. I've seen a bunch of Christian themed games out there that I don't want to play, and I'm a Christian, so why would a non-Christian want to play them? So to make a game that they want to play and then walk them through that process of the game to get them to a point where they're not just considering the story and the concept of the game in the game, but they're thinking about it in everyday life, like how it might apply to everyday life. And talking about it with friends and family, and be like trying to find the parallels of life in the game.
Oh, so making Jesus real in a game like he's become real in your life.
Yes, I guess that's a good way to put it.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Josh. Josh is one of our missionaries, someone that we link with, and we're really thankful for Josh. And so thanks for spending that time with us to be able to talk about these things. Thanks, mate.
It was good.